What is going on, guys? This is Miasin, and I'm going to be covering what is going on in the OCG again with the second breakdown report for this format. So again, going to be reiterating the fact that this is without Kit Kalos. So this is after the ban list that banned Kit Kalos, limited Renoheart, limited Sharon, limited Fenrir and Unicorn, and just like destroyed everything, and also banned the Windbear statue, which might explain why Flundery is not even in this pie chart. But one deck definitely remains the #1 best deck contender, and that is Tier Laments. Oh my god, why am I not surprised? Actually, no, that's cap. I'm extremely surprised. I was not expecting Tier Laments to be the best deck whatsoever. Actually, as a matter of fact, I thought the deck wouldn't even be in the top 10, so I made a mistake. I apologize. I definitely messed up. But today we will be reviewing the breakdown that is, of course, brought to us thanks to Akira. It's your boy. 99 top performing decks from 15 tournaments during the span of 3 days. So before this video starts, make sure you like and subscribe. Check me out on Twitch and Instagram, and now let's jump right into it. Alright, so as I said, the fattest slice of the pizza is Tier Laments, 31.3%. That is a lot. It's definitely too much for a Tier 1 deck, but obviously not enough for a Tier 0 deck. This was Tier Laments at their lowest when they were by far the best deck. So this was like full power Ishizu Tier Laments, you know, with 3 Agido, 3 Keldo, 3 whatever, like basically the full power deck. And now it obviously got somewhat of a nerf, and it doesn't matter because everyone else got a nerf, and that's probably the reason why Tier Laments is still the best deck, because even though it kind of got destroyed, quote unquote, the other decks got destroyed so hard that everyone is kind of like on the same level of, you know, balanced out playing field. But yeah, the most popular build is the build that only plays the Ishizu cards and not the Kishtiras. Only 6 out of the 31 were playing with Kishtira cards as well, but that's only like 1 Unicorn, 1 Fenrir, and then 1 Parezos, because even the Parezos is at 1, so the pure Kashtira deck is like completely unplayable. Anyways, after that we have Trabrigade, so 17 of them were Splight Trabrigade, and only 2 were Scareclaw Trabrigade. I don't know if I'm a big fan of Scareclaw. And then the third best deck is, of course, it doesn't really surprise me too much, Labyrinth. It's a really good deck. It's probably the best trap deck in the game right now because of Big Welcome Labyrinth. Well, not right now for the TCG, but as soon as we're gonna be getting Photon Hypernova, it will be the best trap deck, because Big Welcome is really insane. The deck obviously doesn't lose too hard to like Maxi and hand traps in general because it is a trap deck, so it plays so much on the opponent's turn, and hand traps have a tendency to only really be good if you're going second the majority of the time. So it's a really good deck, and also play a lot of Floodgates. And Runic is a deck that pretty much only plays Floodgates, but it's a very gimmicky deck, and if you can't really do what your deck is supposed to do, which is like a gimmick of decking out your opponent, you can't really do anything. Anyways, we've got Dragon Link, so 2 Lawnwing Bisted Dragon Link, and then 1 Bisted Dragon Link, whatever. This doesn't really exist in the TCG, well, at least not the 60 card version, and they have a lot of cards that we don't have, so I think Dragon Link is much better over there, which is funny because we always have people trying to like make Dragon Link function in the TCG, but it doesn't really work too well. Exorcister, really cool deck, but it's not really good when you compare it to like Tier Laments and then everything else. It actually has a terrible Tri-Brigade matchup, ironically. Exorcister, well, it's especially the Sprite matchup that is really bad, but I guess this is like collateral, because if you have to play against Sprite cards, well, I mean, if you have to play against Tri-Brigade cards, they're usually paired up with Sprite cards, so it's really, really bad for Exorcister. And that's the reason why the deck wasn't really very good, like, since we got Tier Laments and Sprite, because even though they had like a quote-unquote good matchup against Tier, they were losing pretty much every single time against Sprite, and I can confirm because I played that at a regional, and my 2 losses were to 2 decks that I would have demolished if I was playing Tier Laments. Anyways, Punk Bisted, alright, Sprite Evil Twin, it's a good deck, but is it better than Trabrigade? I don't think so. And then Sprite Gishki, this is also a deck that I thought would be doing much better, but what shocks me is that the Sprite engine is actually pretty good, so definitely don't sleep on that. I mean, all you really lost would be like 2 Jets and then 2 starters, I think, and the Toad is banned, but apart from that, everything else you can play like full power. Tri-Brigade Lyrilusk, of course, this deck is always seeing play in the OCG. Even though, again, the Windbear statue is banned, they have the Simorg link, so they can't summon the Apex Avian. 2 Adamancipator always plays the Vernalizer engine. This is like it's not really like Ishizu, but they're like all Earth Fairies that are Monster Reborns, and they do something else, so like search an Earth Fairy or search like a Vernalizer card or whatever. So I'm not like a super big fan, but because of the fact that you can revive back your Adamancipators because they're Earth, it might be like extra synergy. Well, extra like extenders in the deck, so I don't know, maybe it's good. Branded Despia, okay, this deck is also very nice, and it's about to become even better than it already is, so I'm definitely betting money on this deck performing well and topping more YCSs in the future. I think it's not gonna die, at least not in the TCG, maybe in the OCG, because I think Branded Fusion is at 1 for them. Otherwise, if Branded Fusion was a 3, this deck would be like up here. It would be like so much better. It's a really, really good deck. Anyways, Lawn Mowing Adventure, Ishizu Eldritch, that is hilarious. Oh my god, big pile deck. Sky Striker, big disappointment of the day. I was really expecting Sky Striker to do like so much more than that, so only 2 is really sad because they have 2 Kagari and 2 Engage now. That's a buff. They only had 1 Kagari before, and that is still not enough of a boost to allow them to be like on par with at least Extra Sister and Dragon Link. Like, this is ridiculous. And in my head, like, Sky Striker is the better spell deck, better than Runic, but apparently I was wrong, so very disappointing, like I said. Trap Tricks, again, with the new support, pretty decent, but not, like, insane. Branded Shadal, Code Talker Mathmech, Lawn Mowing, Branded Despair Predaplant, Lawn Mowing, Thunder Dragon, Punk Bisted. Hero, and then Kashtira. Some people never give up on, like, their hindered deck. Magician, Mathmech, Adignister, Sprite, Pure, wow, no way. Therion, Son of Alon, Rika, which, again, should kind of be better, but for some reason, nobody really wants to play Rika in the OCG, whereas in the TCG, it genuinely went like 1801 at a European World Championship qualifier, and nobody saw that coming. So yeah, Rika is the kind of deck that is very seasonal. If it's the right format to play the deck, you play it and you destroy everyone, and you catch people off guard because nobody knows what the deck does. Anyways, for Tier Laments, Fairy went to Worlds in 2018. Do I remember the guy? Maybe. And he went 6-0-2 and finished first in a 93-player tournament. They always have these team tournaments in the OCG. That's nuts. And yeah, his friend played the exact same deck list and went 6-1-1, which is like a good performance. I mean, why not? Like, this is basically like a regional top 8. And then this is probably regional top 4 performance. And both of them ran 2 Foolish Goods and 1 Foolish Burial. So Foolish Goods can send, you know, a Euro Scream so that you can search a trap, or your Solix so that you can search a monster, or even Meta Noise so you can recycle back a monster from the graveyard to the hand, or the Crime so that you can recover in case you get hit by Ghost Reaper on your, on nothing actually, because they don't have Kid Kalos. Haha! Yeah, I FTK'd myself. But anyways, so Foolish Burial also being able to send the Ishizu monsters, especially Agido, because it's at 1, so that you have higher chances of mailing your Kelbeck. That's the correct way to do things. Or Shadal Squamata, so that you either send the Beast to draw 1, or the Hail Shadal, which is the Infernoid Shadal, and that allows you to send monsters from the deck to the grave, equal to the amount of monsters with different attributes on the field. Yeah, and also you can send, what else? I mean, your tiers, I guess, obviously. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the explanation of these cards. So again, because of the fact that there is no Kid Kalos, it's really hard to like fusion summon using only 2 monsters. King of the Swamp is the way to like cheat it out, because you can substitute the name of Kid Kalos and then make Lulu Karos using King of the Swamp and any Tier Elements monster. So that's actually really good. No, actually rather an Aqua monster. I forgot the materials. I think it's an Aqua and Kid Kalos. But anyways, Tier Elements loses a little more to Forbidden Droplet than they lose to Dark Ruler, because they summon on the opponent's turn, whereas the Tri-Brigade Sprite strategy, they lose really hard to Dark Ruler, because all their interruptions, pretty much, they exist on the board when they pass turn. The only things that they can actually do on your turn would be like Revolt into Shreg, but sometimes they have like such a fat board that they can't even legally activate the card, which is pretty funny. And I guess they can go like Starter into like Red or Carrot to like get an extra negate on your own turn, or like Smashers to banish a card, but is that really relevant? I mean, it's gonna happen like every once in a while. I mean, if your opponent is like really good at the game and really good at resource management, maybe resource management. But again, I think Starter is only at 1. I could be wrong. So that might be a little hard to pull off. So yeah, Forbidden Droplet is going to be seeing more play moving forward, because it is better when you have to deal with monsters that are summoned on your own turn. And also, you can OTK under Forbidden Droplet, but you can't do that under Dark Ruler no more. You cannot deal damage to your opponent. Now, one thing that does shock me with the side deck is that, obviously, one Magamut because the card is limited, but 2 Druid's Worm over Baldrake, which makes sense when you think about it, because you can't really you can't really abuse Baldrake if you're not playing a high amount of Bisted monsters, so it's logical if you're not able to, like, side in, like, 9, And if you only have the space for 3, then you might as well take the one that doesn't rely on anything else. So I do understand the logic of playing like 2 Druid Worm as well as 1 Magnamut, because that's all you can really afford to do. And the rest of the main deck, again, that is the Hail Shaddoll, the Infernoid one, so Mills cards. Everything else is very standard and doesn't really deserve an explanation. And yeah, don't forget that the BLS Link is actually a pretty good card. You can easily summon it using the Tearlaments Kashtira or Fenrir, and then it becomes undestructible and untargetable by card effects. And it has a lot of really nasty effects. It's really annoying to get rid of this card. But anyways, the side deck doesn't really have too much of... not much that is noteworthy, honestly. Like, aside Ash, Cosmic, and like Duster or Reboot. I mean, I guess Duster and Reboot are really good against trap decks, but Ash and Cosmic are just like so low impact. I just don't really... I'm not a really big fan, but whatever. Alright, Trap Brigade went, what, first in a 60-player tournament, so 20 teams. The only thing that really is worth explaining here is the fact that DD Crow makes a lot of sense to play very specifically in this deck, because it's a Winged Beast monster, so you can discard it with KRS, and then banish it for your Trap Brigades, because, again, it's a Winged Beast. And finally, you can search it off of Shrike, the Ominous Omen, when you have at least 1 BBW in your Banished. And it has nice applications over the Bistan monsters, like being able to banish the Lulu Karos, which is, written here, as well as the spell card that Kagari is targeting, which is not really relevant. And finally, the Welcome Labyrinth to the, graveyard, so that they can't recur it back, or any trap card that the lovely Labyrinth would try to, set back. So it's not, it's not bad, but again, it's not a body on the field, which could be a good thing if you're trying to play around the triple tactic tasking. But as you can see, nobody is playing that card. People are still playing triple tactic talents over it. And for some reason, people are still not giving up on Crossout. And I was right, yes, Blight Starter is at 1, as well as Jet. So it's much harder to summon threats on your opponent's turn. And Revolt is just at 1, and if you can stop it, well, it's not that it's a 1, but people only play 1. So if you can stop that from happening, well, you're gonna be fine, and you won't have to worry about more interruptions if you have Dark Ruler against that deck. However, I will say they do play a lot of hand traps. So 3 Bisted Monsters, 3 Ash, 3 Maxi, and 3 DD Crow, that's 12 hand traps. And a lot of 1-card starters, so Nerval, well, not really Nerval, but I guess Kit is kind of almost a 1-card starter, while Fractal and Tanky are like actual 1-card starters, and then Blue Jet, whatever. I mean, everything just allows you to play if you have like 1 or 2 cards to play with, and Beaver actually is a 1-card starter. That makes a lot of sense. So yeah, very cool deck. And the side deck, ooh, that is really nasty if, they have to go first. So Judgment and Anti-Spell... Wow, that is really disgusting. And triple tactic tasking, alright. So 1 talents in the main deck, 1 tasking in the side deck. Not trying to draw multiples, so definitely makes sense. I like that ratio. And then double evenly matched for going second, as well as double Dark Ruler and Duster Reboot. And finally, Alpha, the Master of Beast. So this card is searchable, but you're not really going to be searching it too often. What you're really going to be doing would be banishing this off of your... well, I mean, you can also discard it, so it's not too bad. But yeah, you can banish it off of your Trap Brigades because it is a beast monster. So yeah, it's an interesting card, but I don't really think it's really worth playing anymore. So I would just scrap it altogether. And the rest of the side deck, I want to say, is pretty high impact, so I like it. And now for Labyrinth, not much has to be said here, outside of the fact that Simul Archfiends was an interesting card that this girl right here decided to play. He Abuzi Tietie. I definitely can't pronounce that, and it's from China. Oh my god. So this card is a worse D-barrier in a way. I think she cited it. Basically, every monster on the field, your opponent or both players can't keep summoning monsters of the same card type for the rest of the turn. So Link monsters, your opponent can't keep summoning Link monsters if there's Links on the field. I don't know, I'm not a big fan. I think D-Bear is better. That's the reason why D-Bear is at 2 and Simul Archfiends is just at 1. Apart from that, the main deck has a lot of diversity in the amount of trap cards that are being played. So triple Compose, triple Ligma Punishment, 1 Ice Dragon's Prison, 1 Things of the Overroot or Underroot. I keep forgetting the name of the card. There are so many cards that have a very similar name and a similar design. Metaverse, I think this card is a 3, so interesting to see only 1 copy of this card, but it's not like you could get Mystic Mind, so it makes sense. And finally, Skill Drain, this card is completely unfair. 1 random ass Lava Golem, very interesting, but hey, if you can go Prosperity, Excavate 6, and the 6th card is Lava Golem, must be nice, not gonna lie. And it is a Fiend monster, so you can revive it back, and you can bounce it back with your big Welcome Labyrinth. Therefore, Lava Golem is actually searchable, but only when you have the time to set up, and that might not be really optimal. By the way, there is a world in which this deck might actually end up playing Wannabe, and I'm going to be making a full video on this card, well, rather a shorts, but it's definitely worth considering. Wannabe is a card that allows you to set trap cards on your... Well, actually, I can... yeah, this is the name of the card. So during the end phase, it can be your opponent's end phase, you can excavate up to 5 cards from your deck depending on the amount of unoccupied spell and trap zones your opponent has, and then excavate 1 trap, but on the next end phase, you have to send it to the graveyard. So it definitely can be nice in a deck like this, because you can get any trap card, and it can definitely help you already have a little bit of gas when you start your turn. So Labyrinth is the kind of deck that I think will just keep on getting better and better and better. And it is a trap deck, and we all know that trap decks have a tendency to dodge ban list very, very well. Combo decks are the ones that get demolished by the ban list, and for some reason they're so ridiculously unfair that even when they lose their best card, it's still not enough. Like, they still get they're still too good and unstoppable, and these decks just struggle too much. But anyways, I think that's pretty much all I really had to say and cover for this OCG metagame breakdown. If you have anything else that you want to add, let me know in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe,